What if I told you that forcing yourself to declutter could actually make it harder to let go? For many of us in later life, every item holds a story. Letting go isn't just about stuff. It's about memories, identity, and love. The pressure to just get rid of it can trigger guilt, anxiety, or even grief. But there's a better way. In the next few minutes, you'll learn how to gently release what no longer serves you, at your pace, with intention and without shame. This approach isn't about perfection or minimalism. It's about creating space for who you are now and honoring the life you've lived along the way. If you've ever felt stuck, overwhelmed, or emotionally drained by decluttering, you're not alone. But letting go doesn't have to hurt. Stay with me, and I'll show you how to do it with kindness, clarity, and confidence. Because after 60, simplifying should feel like freedom, not loss. If you've ever opened a drawer or closet, felt a wave of overwhelm, and quietly shut it again, you're not alone. For those of us over 60, decluttering isn't just about organizing. It's about facing pieces of our past. A photo, a jacket, a birthday card, each item can carry decades of meaning. Letting go feels heavier because these things remind us of who we were, the people we've loved, and the lives we've lived. It's not about being messy or lazy. It's about being human. And when others say, just throw it out, they often don't see the emotional weight behind it. That's why pushing yourself doesn't work. Because it's not just a pile of stuff, it's a lifetime. But the truth is, you can clear your space without clearing your heart. You can let go, gently and on your own terms. If this sounds familiar, stay with me. You're not failing. You're just holding on to what once mattered. And now, it's time to learn how to release it with care. Today, we're not just talking about decluttering. We're talking about doing it in a way that respects you, your pace, your memories, and your emotions. Because after 60, letting go isn't just a task, it's a deeply personal process. It's not about getting rid of things quickly. It's about honoring what those things meant and making space for what matters now. If you've ever felt judged for how much you keep or how long it takes to decide, know this: pressure doesn't help, it actually makes it harder. In this video, we'll explore why the just toss it mindset doesn't work. And more importantly, how to approach decluttering in a gentler, more compassionate way, one that allows you to breathe, reflect, and release at your own rhythm. By the end, you'll have the tools to begin clearing space, not with guilt or force, but with grace and self-kindness. This isn't about less, it's about lighter, and that's where the real freedom begins. Step 1. Acknowledge, don't judge. Start small, not with the whole garage or the overflowing attic, just one manageable space. A single drawer, a shelf, the nightstand you haven't opened in months. Don't go into it with a trash bag and a deadline. Go into it with presence. Let yourself simply look. Pause before you touch anything. Let your eyes settle on what's there. Maybe it's a stack of old birthday cards, a broken watch, a pair of glasses you haven't worn in years. Maybe it's something you forgot was even there. Let that be okay. The first step is not to decide. The first step is to acknowledge. Every object in your home once had a purpose. Even if that purpose has passed, it still played a part in your story. That's why it's hard to let go. Because these aren't just objects, they're reminders of seasons, people, places. Some bring warmth, others bring ache. All deserve a moment of recognition. So before you ask, should I keep this? Ask this instead. What does this represent? What part of my life does this belong to? As you go through each item, don't criticize yourself for keeping it. Don't say, why do I still have this junk? Or, I should have done this years ago. That kind of judgment shuts down your ability to let go. It triggers shame and guilt, and those emotions don't help you move forward. Instead, gently say, I see you. You mattered. That sweater you never wear? It kept you warm during a hard winter. That broken ornament? It hung on your tree for years. That faded photo? It captured someone you loved once, or maybe still do. Acknowledging the item allows you to acknowledge yourself, who you were, what you went through, the version of you that needed that thing. And here's the truth many people forget. You're not just decluttering your home, you're witnessing your life. That deserves reverence. Take a breath. This is not about speed. There is no race. If you spend 20 minutes looking through one drawer and don't toss a single thing, that's still progress. You showed up. You gave your attention. You remembered. That's a powerful first step. You might be surprised, sometimes, when we stop judging, our hearts soften. And when that happens, letting go becomes a natural next step, not a forced one. So today, don't organize. Don't discard. Just notice. Pick up the object. Hold it in your hands. Close your eyes if you need to. Let the memory rise up, good or bad, and say, "Thank you for what you gave me." And then, only if it feels right, you can let it go. Or not. There is no right answer today, only awareness. Because letting go starts with learning to see what's truly there. And before we move on, remember, you are not behind. You are not failing. You are not too late. You are honoring your life, one small drawer at a time. Step 2. Ask the right question. Once you've taken the time to acknowledge what's in front of you, to really see it without judgment, then, and only then, can you start asking questions. But here's where many of us take a wrong turn. We ask the wrong question. We ask, do I need this? It seems logical, even practical. But for those of us over 60, need doesn't always capture the truth. Most of us don't need a drawer full of old cards, 5 sets of mixing bowls, or a closet full of clothes we haven't worn in years. But need feels cold. It skips over sentiment, purpose, and context. And when the answer is no, we feel like we're supposed to throw it away, even if we're not ready. That creates pressure, and pressure shuts us down. So here's a better, kinder question. Does this still serve me now? This question gives you space to consider today. Not who you were 20 years ago. Not what others think you should keep or toss. Not what your kids might want one day. Just you, right now. Maybe that book served you when you were going through a tough time. Maybe that jacket made you feel confident once, but doesn't fit your life or your style anymore. Maybe those dishes were perfect when you hosted big holiday dinners, but now your table is quieter and they sit untouched. If it doesn't serve you now, it might be ready to go, and that's okay. Another powerful question is, would I choose this today? This one can shift your entire perspective. Forget what you spent on it. Forget how long you've had it. Forget that someone gave it to you. Just ask, if I saw this in a store today, would I bring it home? If the answer is no, that's information. It doesn't mean you have to toss it right away, but it tells you something about your current life, your current values, your current needs. These questions aren't meant to force a decision, they're meant to create clarity. They honor the past without making you live in it. They acknowledge that who you are today deserves to be prioritized, and that making room for the present is just as important as respecting the past. Let's take an example. You're holding a set of fancy china that's been in your cabinet for years. Maybe it belonged to your mother. Maybe you used it for special occasions once upon a time. You ask yourself, do I need this? Well, probably not. But that answer doesn't help. Now try. Does this still serve me now? Would I choose this today? Maybe the answer is no, but now you're not just thinking about function. You're thinking about meaning. And from there, you might decide to keep one plate as a display piece and donate the rest. Or pass it down. Or simply let it go, knowing you honored its role in your life. This step isn't about purging. It's about aligning. Aligning your space with the life you're living now, not the one you used to have, or the one you're trying to maintain for someone else. And remember, some things will still serve you now. You'll come across items that still bring you joy, comfort, or usefulness. Wonderful. Let them stay. That's what this process is about. Clarity, not minimalism. There is no perfect number of items to keep. There is no right way to live. There is only the version of life that feels peaceful to you. So when you're holding something in your hands and you're unsure, pause. Take a breath. Ask yourself, gently and honestly, does this still serve me now? Would I choose this today? Let the answers guide you, not push you. Let them reveal what's worth keeping, not based on obligation, but on purpose, on connection, on who you are now. Decluttering isn't about stripping your life bare. It's about surrounding yourself with things that still reflect the person you've become. And that is a question worth asking. Step 3. Honor the memory, not the object. Letting go isn't always about logic, it's about emotion. And for many of us in later life, it's not the clutter that's hard to deal with. It's the stories attached to it. That ticket stub from your first concert, the teacup your mother used every morning, a shirt from your late spouse still hanging in the closet. These aren't just things, they're memories in physical form. Touchstones of moments, feelings, people we've loved and lost. So when someone tells you to just throw it away, it can feel like they're saying, forget it ever mattered. But that's not what we're doing here. We're not erasing the past. We're curating it. Just like a museum carefully selects which pieces to display, choosing the most meaningful, the most representative, you can do the same with your life. You don't need to hold on to everything to hold on to what matters. One powerful way to do this is simple but profound. Take a photo of the item. Write down the memory it holds. That teacup? Photograph it. Then write, "Mom used this every morning while humming her favorite song. The handle was chipped from when I dropped it in the sink, and she laughed instead of scolding me." Now you're not just keeping an object, you're preserving a moment, with more depth than the thing alone could hold. Or maybe it's a piece of clothing, like your partner's favorite sweater. Taking a photo while holding it, then writing, "He wore this every fall when we walked by the lake. I can still smell the leaves and coffee when I hold it." Gives you something even more powerful than the fabric, the essence. This allows you to let go without losing. Because here's the truth. The love, the memory, the connection, they're not inside the object. They're inside you. And by capturing the memory intentionally, you're giving it a place to live that doesn't require you to carry the physical weight forever. Some people even create memory boxes or digital albums. One woman I worked with had a box labeled Treasures. Inside were printed photos of objects she had let go of, each with a small note or story attached. She said it made her feel lighter, but still connected. There's no rule saying you have to give something away just because it's old or unused. If holding on to it brings you peace, then keep it. But if it's causing you guilt, clutter, or sadness, ask yourself, what am I really trying to hold on to here? Is it the object or the story behind it? If it's the story, then honor the memory. Document it, celebrate it, and then give yourself permission to let the item go. You are not dishonoring the people or moments that mattered to you by releasing their objects. In fact, you may be making more space for those memories to live on in photos, in words, in your heart, and even in the stories you tell others. It's also okay to keep one small piece as a token. For example, if you have a whole box of your child's school drawings, maybe choose one that captures their personality best. Photograph the rest and create a small collage. That way, you keep the spirit of the collection without being overwhelmed by its size. Decluttering doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing what to carry forward, intentionally, lovingly. And here's a comforting thought. The people you loved and the memories you've made. Live in who you are, not in what you own. So as you move through your space and find things that pull on your heart, remember, you can honor the memory without keeping the object. You can preserve the past without being trapped by it. You can let go and still hold on to what matters most. This is how we make peace with our possessions, by turning them from burdens into blessings, and by realizing that letting go of a thing doesn't mean letting go of the love it represents. It simply means you trust that love to live on where it always has, inside you. Step 4. Set a gentle pace. One of the biggest reasons people give up on decluttering is because they try to do too much, too fast. The process becomes overwhelming, exhausting, and emotionally draining. And for those of us over 60, that pressure doesn't just cause physical fatigue. It can stir up memories, resistance, or even grief. So let's take the pressure off. Here's the truth. Decluttering in later life isn't about speed. It's about peace. It's about giving yourself the time and space to make decisions that feel right, not rushed. So instead of thinking, I need to finish this whole room today, try this. Set a timer for just 10 minutes. That's it. Just 10. Pick one small area, a drawer, a shelf, a single box, and begin. When the timer rings, stop. No matter how far you got. No guilt, no shame. Instead, celebrate. Say to yourself, I showed up. I made progress. I honored my limits. Because every 10-minute session is a quiet victory. You are building momentum gently, one small effort at a time. And those small efforts add up. When we push ourselves to go too long or too hard, we risk emotional burnout. Items from the past don't just sit on shelves, they live in your memory. And memories can be heavy. You may come across something that stops you in your tracks. An old letter, a photograph, a sweater that still smells like someone you miss. In that moment, you don't need a cleaning checklist. You need a pause, a breath, a chance to feel, and then decide. That's why 10-minute sessions work so well. They offer safety, structure, a sense of accomplishment without the overwhelm. You may even find that after 10 minutes, you want to keep going. That's fine, as long as it feels good. But it's also okay, more than okay, to stop and return another day. Decluttering is not a one-day event. It's a process, a journey back to clarity. Mini hook. Coming up, I'll share the one sentence that helped me finally let go of a box I'd held onto for 20 years. And I'll tell you why it changed everything. But first, remember this. The goal here is not to empty every room. The goal is to create a life that feels lighter, more peaceful, more you. After 60, your time is precious. Your energy is sacred, and your home should feel like a sanctuary, not a storage unit of forgotten chapters. So here's your simple action step for today. Pick one small space. Set a timer for 10 minutes. Acknowledge what's there. Ask if it still serves you. Honor the memory. When the timer rings, stop and thank yourself. There's a gentle rhythm to this kind of work. It's not about productivity. It's about healing. Each item you touch, each decision you make, is a quiet conversation with your past and a loving invitation to your future. So give yourself grace. Take your time and trust that even 10 minutes can be a turning point. You don't need to rush to reclaim your space. You just need to begin with kindness and with care. Because when you declutter this way, you're not just clearing shelves. You're clearing space for joy, for rest, for you. And you're doing it one peaceful moment at a time. For years, I kept my late husband's coat hanging in the front closet. I told myself I'd give it away someday, but that day never came. Every time I saw it, I felt a tug in my chest. Not because it brought him closer, but because it reminded me he was gone. One afternoon, I stood in front of it, reached out, and wrapped it in my arms. I remembered the sound of his laugh, the way he always left a glove in one pocket. I whispered, "Thank you for the warmth," and let the tears come. Then I folded it gently and passed it on to someone who needed it now. Letting go didn't mean letting go of him. It meant making space for the love to live in my heart, not on a hanger. Decluttering isn't always about organization, it's about healing. And sometimes, the most meaningful release comes not from clearing space, but from choosing to carry the memory, not the weight. The shelf is clearer now, but more importantly, so is my heart. Each item I let go of made room not just on the shelf, but in my mind and spirit. There's less clutter, less weight, and more space for the life I'm living today, not just the memories of yesterday. Letting go gently, at my own pace, helped me feel lighter without feeling loss. It reminded me that creating space isn't about forgetting the past, it's about honoring it, and then choosing to live fully in the present. What's one item you've been holding on to that you're ready to let go of, gently? Tell me in the comments. I read every single one, and your stories matter here. And if this helped you feel even a little lighter, give it a thumbs up and hit subscribe. We're building a space where letting go doesn't feel lonely, it feels healing. There's so much more peace waiting for you. And I'll be here to walk with you every step of the way.